What if the most powerful weapons in America's arsenal were not entirely of human origin? For decades, the US military has poured billions into black projects, developing stealth bombers, hypersonic missiles, and surveillance systems that seem decades ahead of their time. But here's the chilling question. Could some of this breakthrough technology have roots beyond Earth? In 1947, Roswell shocked the world with whispers of a crashed craft, and ever since, secret test sites like Area 51 have fueled speculation that America may be hiding more than just advanced jets. Add to that the Pentagon's recent admission that Navy pilots encountered unidentified aerial phenomena moving at speeds no human aircraft could match, and the mystery only deepens. This isn't just about UFOs. It's about strategy, secrecy, and how controlling knowledge can decide wars before they even begin. Imagine a world where America holds technology that no rival nation can even comprehend. How would that shift the balance of power, not just today, but for generations to come? Stay with me until the end, because every detail we uncover will make you question what you thought you knew about military power and hidden strategy. And if you love and care about military insights, give this video a like, subscribe, and share. It helps me bring you even more of these deep dives into the world's greatest military mysteries.
In the summer of 1947, a storm rolled across the quiet desert skies of Roswell, New Mexico. What happened next has become one of the most debated mysteries in modern history. The official report? A simple weather balloon crash. But eyewitnesses painted a very different picture. Metallic debris, unlike anything they had ever seen. Fragments that were said to be impossibly light, yet unbreakable. And whispers of strange shapes being carried away under tight military guard. For many Americans, this wasn't just an accident. It was the beginning of a cover-up that would define how we think about hidden technology. From a military perspective, the timing is fascinating. The Cold War was just beginning, and every scrap of potential advantage was treated as a matter of national survival. If the US really had stumbled upon something otherworldly, keeping it secret would have been the ultimate strategic move. Personally, I can't help but feel that Roswell set the stage for an entire culture of secrecy inside the Air Force and beyond. Whether alien or not, something unusual happened that summer. And the way it was handled shaped the way Americans view military technology even today. And here's what I find most compelling. This wasn't the end of the story, it was only the beginning. Roswell opened the door to a flood of rumors about advanced weapons, experimental aircraft, and shadowy research bases like Area 51. It created a narrative where every leap in American technology, from stealth bombers to drones, was seen not just as human innovation, but as something that might carry an otherworldly fingerprint. So the question is, was Roswell truly about aliens, or was it about the birth of a new kind of military secrecy? To answer that, we need to look at how America's so-called black projects emerged in the decades that followed. Projects so advanced they seem to leap straight out of science fiction. And that brings us to the next part of our journey, the Cold War's secret arsenal, and the blurred line between genius engineering and something far stranger.
When the Cold War was at its peak, the United States faced a terrifying challenge. The Soviet Union was racing to outpace them in nuclear weapons and space technology. In response, America poured unimaginable resources into what became known as black projects, programs so secret that even Congress sometimes knew nothing about them. From the deserts of Nevada to hidden airstrips in California, engineers and pilots worked in total silence on machines that seemed to belong in the pages of science fiction. Take the U-2 spy plane, capable of flying higher than any Soviet missile could reach, or the SR-71 Blackbird, which even today holds speed records that sound impossible, flying at over 3 times the speed of sound. Then came the F-117 Nighthawk and the B-2 Spirit, aircraft that could slip through radar like ghosts. These machines didn't just push the limits, they shattered them. And here's where the question lingers. Were these the results of pure human genius, or was there something more at play? I've always admired the brilliance of American engineers, but I also understand why many people suspect a hidden hand in these leaps. When you see technology appear that seems decades ahead of its time, it's natural to wonder if it came entirely from human effort. Personally, I think the truth may be more complicated. Perhaps Roswell and other events didn't hand us alien craft ready to fly, but maybe they sparked ideas, theories, or materials that accelerated innovation in ways we still don't fully understand. What strikes me most is how these projects were wrapped in layers of secrecy so thick that even the existence of the SR-71 or the F-117 wasn't revealed to the public until years after they were already flying. And that secrecy itself became part of the mystique, fueling the belief that America was hiding something beyond our imagination. But as we move forward in history, the mystery doesn't fade, it only grows. Because while the Cold War created these legendary machines, the 21st century brought something even stranger. Official Pentagon programs openly investigating unidentified aerial phenomena and Navy pilots describing encounters they couldn't explain. And that takes us into the next chapter of this story, where mystery meets modern warfare. In the last 2 decades, something remarkable happened. What was once dismissed as wild conspiracy theory suddenly became part of official Pentagon reports. The Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, known as ATIP, was a secret effort inside the Department of Defense that quietly studied unidentified aerial phenomena. For years, almost no one outside a small circle knew it even existed. Then, in 2017, the curtain was pulled back when the New York Times published videos showing Navy pilots chasing objects that defied every known law of physics. I remember watching the Tic Tac footage for the first time, the grainy black and white video of a small object darting across the sky, accelerating and stopping with movements no human aircraft could replicate. Pilots, highly trained professionals who risk their lives daily, described the craft as having no wings, no exhaust, and no visible propulsion. Imagine being in that cockpit, staring at something that seemed to break the rules of reality. That sense of awe mixed with fear is exactly why these sightings can't be ignored. What makes it even more fascinating is how open the military has become in recent years. Instead of shutting down the conversation, the Pentagon actually confirmed the authenticity of these videos. To me, that shift is massive. It's almost as if they're preparing the public for something bigger, or at least acknowledging that there are things in the skies even the world's most powerful military can't explain. And when the strongest military on Earth admits there are unknowns, you know it's serious. From my perspective, these encounters represent more than just UFO stories. They reveal how the US military approaches threats it doesn't fully understand, with caution, secrecy, and a relentless drive to analyze. Whether these craft are advanced drones from rival nations, experimental technologies, or something not of this Earth, the fact remains, they challenge our understanding of air superiority and defense strategy. But the story doesn't stop there, because beyond the mystery of what these objects are lies an even deeper question: why the US chooses to handle them the way it does. That takes us straight into the heart of secrecy, strategy, and the hidden power that comes from controlling not just technology, but information itself. And that is where we're heading next. If there's one thing the US military has mastered, it's the art of secrecy. From nuclear submarines hidden beneath the oceans to stealth aircraft flying silently above enemy radar, America understands that the greatest weapon isn't always a missile or a jet, it's the unknown. When adversaries can't be sure what you have or how far ahead you really are, fear itself becomes a powerful form of deterrence. Think about stealth technology. The F-117 Nighthawk first flew in the late 1970s, but the world didn't learn of its existence until almost a decade later when it was suddenly unleashed in combat. That gap wasn't just about hiding an aircraft, it was about controlling time, information, and perception. By the time rivals even knew what they were facing, the US already had a massive strategic edge. That's the power of mystery in warfare. Now, imagine if the same principle applies to something even bigger, technology that challenges the very limits of physics. Whether it's alien in origin or simply the result of brilliant minds, keeping such capabilities under wraps ensures that no rival can plan against them.
Personally, I believe this culture of secrecy is just as important as the technology itself. It's not only about what America may or may not have, but about the psychological advantage of leaving questions unanswered. For me, this is where the story becomes truly fascinating. The US military doesn't need to prove it has alien technology. All it needs to do is let the possibility linger. That uncertainty alone is enough to unsettle enemies and inspire awe at home. And in the high-stakes game of global power, perception can sometimes be as decisive as reality. But of course, that raises the ultimate question. Is all of this just clever strategy, or is there something genuinely otherworldly hidden away in America's black vaults? To answer that, we need to step back and look at the bigger picture. What these mysteries really mean for us, and what lessons they hold for the future of warfare and human curiosity alike. And that's exactly where we're headed next.
So where does all of this leave us? We've traveled from Roswell in 1947, through the Cold War's secret arsenals, to modern Pentagon UFO programs and unexplained Navy encounters. The threads of fact, speculation, and secrecy weave together into something far bigger than a single story. It's a portrait of how power, technology, and mystery collide in the modern world. Here's what I believe. Whether or not alien technology truly exists in hidden hangars, the idea of it has already shaped America's military identity. Roswell gave birth to a myth that inspired generations of secrecy. The Cold War pushed engineers to build machines so advanced they seemed unreal. And now, in our own time, even the Pentagon admits there are things in the skies they cannot explain. That mix of fear and wonder is powerful. It keeps enemies guessing and keeps citizens questioning. For me, the lesson is simple. Secrecy itself is a weapon. America may not need flying saucers tucked away in Nevada to maintain its edge. All it needs is the perception that there's always something more, something hidden, something untouchable. And that uncertainty might be the greatest deterrent of all. But what about you? Do you think the United States is hiding alien technology? Or is it simply human genius wrapped in layers of strategy and mystery? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments, because your perspective is what makes this conversation alive. And if you've enjoyed this journey through history, secrecy, and the unknown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more deep dives into military mysteries, and share it with friends who love exploring the secrets of power and strategy. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.